Today's topic, when I was invited to speak, I knew I had to come up with a topic. And so I wrote this up several weeks ago. And then I read it a couple of days ago to see what I was setting myself up for. And I said, did I write this? Am I going to speak about this? What am I going to do with this? And I've sat with this for the past few days. And before I start that, Cynthia, you mentioned in your earlier in this circle that we're seeking a balance between action and what was the other word? Was it spirituality or action and what?
Action in the spirit world and action in the physical world.
Okay. So I'd like us to use that as one of the threads of this tapestry this morning as we weave ourselves back and forth with language and images and questions and answers. And as we look at my assertions here, that, by the way, this is just an opportunity to speak. They don't really mean anything, but they got to start somewhere. And the topic title is Failure and Success Are Equal. And right now, I'm just pressing the start button because I know I've got now less than 20 minutes to cover it. Failure and success are equal is the claim of the title, the statement, as are positive and negative, cosmos and chaos. And I'll just read maybe three more. Freedom and incarceration, presence and absence. And how about lies and truth? I asked the question, how inclusive am I willing to be? Here we are, a circle of miracles. There's a symbol. How large is my circle? And what is our origin of experience and language, of association, of metaphor and shape? The origin of our claim of individuality. So, purpose of this, also it's an invitation for everybody, let's travel together and ride these suggestions and these languages and swim around in those waters of symbols. And I said, let's tap lightly on the door of equality. How large is my circle? What is inclusion? What's allowed in? What's not allowed in? What's missing? How did this all fit together? So it'd be like this, like a lens zooming in and out. So let's start with atoms and molecules. Seems we'd have to include those somewhere in the talk. So atoms and molecules are made up of compounds and elements and energies and orbits and electrons and nuclei and all the terms that high physics uses to zoom in to finding more and more nuanced descriptors for what is physics all about. And we're made up of those. So they're required for us to have this conversation. So let's give them some recognition. And they're untold trillions, unfathomable numbers of chemical and electrical processes going on inside each and every one of us, in all our cells and all our metabolism. And so it's all spinning and turning and moving. It's what energy does. And it's all happening, I'm going to suggest simultaneously. It's immediate. We're not sitting here deciding which way the orbit's supposed to go. So if we take that lens and expand it, zoom it out instead of in, we have a solar system. We have planets, and we have the sun orbits again, and energy and light spectrum, position, orbits and speeds, distances and time. And how is that any different from an atom? All those things are consisting of the constituents is what I'm looking for. Let's get some, expanding further, there's a galaxy, I'm told. And we look up in the sky, we see what we see. And so the galaxy has many solar systems, more orbits, more movement, more space. And how many galaxies? I don't know. So at the zoom out place, where does it go? And on the zoom in place, where does it go? So I'm saying that whether you're zoomed in or zoomed out, it's equal. You end up at the same, something's spinning, something's moving, no matter what reference one uses. Okay, so that's to get some elasticity going here in our conversation. Cosmos and chaos. And then there's this quantum aspect within all of that. Things take a course and originate, doesn't have a precedent. Talk about unprecedented times. There's not a precedent to anything because it's all moving. It's never here where it was never in a static situation. So in that way, one could see that everything is simultaneous. The galaxies being galactic, the atoms being atomic, quantum movements being spontaneous, all simultaneous. To find balance between all these actions and spirit and balance, what's holding it together? The pendulum has that part that doesn't move, otherwise where could it swing from? So we could ask the question, what's composing the show? Go back to theater now. There's a stage, there's a show, there's the commentary, there's the storyline. There are characters, elements. And what is animating, composing, orchestrating all of the actions? All of the formulations, all the sciences, the arts, the dance, the music, the mathematics, all the numbers and colors, they're all being orchestrated, animated, presented, formulated, offered. How large is your circle? How large is your square or triangle? Let's bring all the shapes. Hexagons. So would it be fair at this point in our little journey here to say that all symbols are equal? Musical symbols, mathematical symbols, references, all shapes, They're all composed, animated, orchestrated. All sciences. There's a room for infinity and room for eternity in this equation. Here we are, a little tap on the door. Equality, it says. How lightly can I tap? All those equations, you could say, are judgments, they're assertions, they're this equals that. Every question has an answer, and a question and answer have to be equal. They contain each other. Just like the ocean and the wave, lines can begin to blur between what's what, what's where, what's when, where, how, and what's who. And in the last talk I gave, topic was introducing these 6 friends: what, where, when, why, how, and who. And as we traveled those roads, as we followed those threads, was one common answer to all of it, and is, I don't know. I don't know. And along with that very evident common awareness, I don't really know what, where, when, why, how, and who, came the freedom from not carrying the weight of ascribing answers to those questions. They were never satisfactory. We keep asking them. I've got 9 more minutes left. So we've got half a tapestry. So tapping on the door, what is it that's animating and articulating and composing and orchestrating the thoughts that are being shared? Our sensations, our hearing, our tasting, our seeing. So far, the tapestry is suggesting that it's a simultaneity of action and inaction. Stillness, moving, equal. Simultaneously, right now, right here, action and inaction. Stillness in what we see and what we hear and what we think. The ocean and the wave. Tapping lightly. Do I need the equal sign? Thick door carrying too much weight. The door of equality. Do I need a doorway? Do I need a framework? In Karen, your seed today, I wrote down 2 little things, really got my attention. Today, I will leave everything alone. Let's not play lip service here. Let's taste it. Let's let it breathe us. Aloneness breathing. Everything. Equal. If I don't judge, I don't need a doorway. I don't need a symbol that announces what the doorway is about, even if it's a wonderful name like equality. One often says, if I do this blend in, everything will become vacant and dead and nothing will ever happen. Well, without the doorway, without the symbols, has anybody here ever lost anything so far? Just imagine living without all your symbology, all your references to try to support a conclusion or hope. Sounds like freedom. It could be. Always wondrously fresh, new, and at the same time, in the same breath, familiar. Simultaneity. Untouchable and unavoidable. Everything included. What a show. What a hoot to participate, to be granted a part. These parts, these aspects, these elements, these nuances, they're all graciously bestowed, offered as gifts. There are the authority that gives permission for this to happen, for the theater to exist. Who can take credit for that? And without that, how rich can these characters be? It's built in. We're reliant on that which brought us here. All of it. Who needs a reference? Wait, I've got to find a reference for this? Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'll try not to rustle this. I printed out. This is what was on the website. Failure and success are equal. So having zoomed around from place to place and shared some comments, let's go back over what the playbill said. Failure and success are equal. Check. Positive and negative, plenty of room for that. Cosmos and chaos, yeah, without judgment, why not? Ascent and descent, let's have some space. Freedom and incarceration, what a dance. Presence and absence, closer than close. Lies and truth, can't have a story without that. Well, salt and pepper. How inclusive am I willing to be? This question is central in one's quest to satisfy one's longing. 2 minutes. To rest inside of or prior to one's experience of origin, prior to thought, prior to the identities which were secondhand and imposed, and we accepted these identities from the outside. Prior to that, through the miraculous poetry of language, metaphor, shape, answer, and question, let's tap lightly on the door of equality right now, right here. And let's tap lightly on the equal sign emblazoned on that doorway. And perhaps it will dissolve itself and let us in. So that's my story for the moment. And I'll give back the extra minute and a half. So thank you thank you for the dance.